there's some moments from the game that I discussed in a video I did between the two games on Sunday. You addressed it yesterday, and Chris Simms unbuttoned. But, I mean, obviously, let's the biggest moment.
Yeah, well, let's go through it chronologically. Let's do that, if we don't mind, right? I mean, because this is what's special.
You want to start from the beginning, or do you want to go from the back?
Let's start from the beginning. Let's start with that Broncos stopped on 4th down, right? Of the plays we have to break down. I think that's where to start. And I think, again, it goes into a subject that you've brought up a million times. I've brought up a million times. We heard on Thursday, right, Frank Reich say it, that Mike Vrabel's game management is up there with the great coaches of all time. What he does, understanding situations. When you talk about situational football, the poster child right now in the NFL, for me, is Mike Vrabel and how he manages every situation. And then he has an offensive coordinator like Josh McDaniels to back him up in that department, too, who also understands that in the Belichick way and how to do that. So, yeah, this first 4th down, right, I mean, that to me was the start of the turning point of the football game. Right? This is the turning point. Why did we not kick a field goal? You know, bad weather, 10-0 at home, your defense. Why not do this? That's the first thing I would say right off the bat, Mike.
Well, and that to me, there are other factors that we'll get into.
Yeah.
But to me, that threshold question of how many scores are you up? You're up 1 score now. You have a chance to go up 2 scores.
Right.
And if you can go up 2 scores against a quarterback who is inexperienced, in a difficult environment to play.
Exactly.
You may induce him to make a mistake, and the next thing you know, the floodgates open.
Exactly right.
That's how I would envision it. Go up 2 scores. Go up 2 scores. And there's more to it as well, but just the basic concept, and it's the pushback to the analytics crowd. And I saw somebody say last night, analytics actually said you should have kicked it there. But the problem is the embrace of analytics has caused us all to associate going for it with analytics. So it would be fitting for the analytics crowd to say, well, actually, in that situation, the marginal percentage would be to kick the field goal. No, but the whole point is we think about analytics because you people, I don't want to use I almost said something that would have gotten them very upset, like nerds, but I didn't. But but the whole analytics thing is what's caused us to just have this, ESPN analytics say go in our mind. It always says go. 4th down, we go. It used to be a little more sacred. That and I think that's the best word.
Yeah.
It wasn't unheard of, but if you were going for it on 4th down, it was the equivalent of guaranteeing a victory. You didn't do it lightly. You understood the gravity of the moment. And it just didn't happen. Like when Joe Namath guaranteed a victory in Super Bowl III, that was a big deal. And then we got to a point where people are guaranteeing victories out the yin-yang. Like, no. It's supposed to be a big deal. And I never really thought of that before, but that is kind of a parallel. We have gone from this idea that, wait a minute. No, we don't go for it on 4th down unless we're desperate late in a game and we got no choice, or just like everything lines up perfectly, and it's just become this casual thing now. So I think that is the threshold question.
Right.
And it's surprising because of all coaches, Sean Payton knows this.
Yeah,
he's been on our show talking about analytics, and he's not beholden to the concepts. He looks at everything,
right?
Which just makes it even more stunning that he didn't take the points.
More stunning and hear it crazy, right? I mean, we saw something I know written yesterday about how he was talking about last week and the Bears-Rams game, or maybe the Bears-Packers game, going, why don't teams kick field goals anymore, right? It was that game, right?
When Ben Johnson didn't take a field goal on the opening drive when they were in great position and went for it on 4th down, it was intercepted near the end zone by the Rams. He said to Seth Wickersham of ESPN.com, before the play he said kick it, and after the play he said, why are coaches not kicking field goals? 1 week before, he didn't kick the field goal in a spot where most were saying kick the field goal.
Yeah, it is shocking. It was the turning point of the football game, or at least for me right there, because it was Denver having total momentum, and this is where we talk about it. And this is where analytics can't really calibrate this, right? You go on a great drive as an offense, you go, whoa, that was a good drive. We did a lot of things. To come away and go, man, we came away with nothing. And then the defense, on the other hand, who goes, wait, we didn't have a great drive, but we made the stop when we need to. Yeah, now we're feeling good. And the offense comes on the field field and is like, yeah, big play by our defense, let's go, and it kind of energizes the team, and it flipped it on its head right there. That was it. And I think, again, there's certain things about it, too, that I don't love. Now, I mean, one, I don't love going for it from the simple base fact of the New England defensive line is real. I mean, Barrymore and Milton Williams they're not capable of being blocked right now. Denver wasn't running the ball or doing anything. So there, right away, you go, okay, it's 4th and short. Running the ball against this crew? No way. Here's the second part I don't like. All right, and if you guys could show the play again and the little montage we showed there. One, they don't block the play the right way. When you see the end zone angle here, look at the right guard. He blocks nobody. I mean, nobody. The left center lets somebody go. And then on top of that, Mike, I don't like the play call. And what's amazing is as basic of a play call it is, because this is the type of play you put in your offense really the first week at training camp, the fact that 2 guys missed blocks on one of the first plays you put in your playbook, to me is mind-blowing. And then secondly, on top of that, to think that this play was going to trick the New England Patriots. Mike, you hear me and Jason Garrett joke about this play on a weekly basis in the viewing room, don't you? When this is the one, he calls it flow pass. For me in the West Coast offense and how Sean Payton probably called it, it was fake 15 BIM, naked right halfback slide. But those are staple core plays to where you go, wait, 4th and 1, second quarter, AFC Championship, Vrabel and the Patriots, and you thought you were going to trick them with the play that they've probably seen once a week or every game this year, and seen their team and their own offense in practice do it another 100 times? I think that's all of it together just creates a stew of, like, I was shocked in that moment that happened like that, like it did.
And there's another facet to that as well, Chris, because one of the things Payton always explains is if you're going to go for it on 4th down, you have to feel good about your menu
play call, right?
of plays.
Right.
And it's basically your 2-point plays, your short yardage
That's
plays.
Right.
You come into the game with a certain number of them. How do I have any left when the moment arises? Of course, when it happens in the second quarter, you do. But how do I feel about this play? How do I feel about this moment? And I think there's another factor here, and this is the fatal flaw in all of it. Because I can get behind the idea that Payton went for it there as a throwback to the old days when it was sacred to go for it, because he's the guy that kicked the fake onside to start the second half of Super Bowl 44. Okay, that may have been the irony in the whole thing. And if it had succeeded, maybe he would have explained it that way. Well, you know what? I didn't go for it because ESPN Analytics told me to go for it. I went for it because back in 1975, this happened, and I was paying homage to that moment. One of those big moments where nobody expects it and you did it. Okay. But here's the problem. And this is from the Wickersham article.
Right.
The first play that was called was in 11 personnel. They were going to run it. It was called nickel duo, sub run versus a sub front. That's what Payton said.
Okay.
So then he calls timeout. He switches to slipper naked. Their top 4th and short run gave way to their top 4th and short pass.
Right.
They call it slipper naked. Here's the problem. They got fooled by the pre-snap look.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they were going to do, what is it? They surprised them and played red 2 zone defense behind a 6-man front.
They played cover 2.
You can maybe interpret that.
Yeah, they played cover 2.
Okay.
They played a zone behind it, and that's why that guy was in the flat there waiting for the back to come there, because he's the corner in the cover 2 type of thing there, which is rare to play that kind of coverage on that moment right there.
And here's the key sentence. Here's the key concession from Payton.
Right.
The look they showed on film and the look we saw wasn't the look we got. Mm-hmm. And we hear this from time to time. And I remember when the Vikings got their asses kicked by the Eagles after the NFC Championship some 7-8 years ago now. Mike Zimmer said, well, one thing we're learning is that, the deeper you get into the postseason, the more you have to self-scout. Yeah, no shit. I mean, they know everything you do.
Right.
So the best coaches are going to play cat and mouse with you.
Exactly.
They're going to show you something that they're going to think your level of detail attention will see, and not think we're going to say yoink and out goes the football, and Charlie Brown falls on his ass. That to me, beyond everything else, and it tells me wherever Sean Payton is, Mike Vrabel,
he's
just
right
a
up
half-click higher,
right?
Because he got him in that moment.
Right.
Forget about everything else. In that moment, when you're playing chess between Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel won. And that, to me, is the biggest development out of the whole game.
I hear you there. That's why we talk about, when we talk about game plan specific, right? Not about this is what we do, and this is how we do it in this situation. We play like this. It's like, okay, that's cool. But you're going to find a coach that's going to go, hey, in this situation, they play like this, and I got something to shove it right up where the sun don't shine. And that's not going to work on this play, right? Vrabel was smart enough to know, hey, what I normally do, Sean Payton's pretty smart. He's going to have something for it. So in that moment, he went, I'm going to give him something that really is kind of unexpected. And, again, if we can, maybe let's show the play again, guys. I know we've showed it before, but show it one more time because watch, you'll see the corner. Watch the safety back down there. That's rare in a 4th and 1. You got 2 safeties deep and you're playing cover 2, right? I mean, that's shocking. It really is. And then they condensed the front because they were like, okay, well, we're not going to let you run up the middle. Maybe there were some runs on the edge, and they don't block 3 people. So all of it, none of it was good. But, yes, to your point, that's what makes Vrabel special is that game plan-specific aspect and self-scouting thyself and then knowing, wait, the guy I'm going against, he's smart. He's going to have something for us if I just do what we usually do. And, yeah, this was the moment here that the pendulum started to swing back into the Patriots' favor.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.